Hello.
Hiya. What is
Hey. Nothing much. How you doing?
I'm great, pretty chill day. So I don't I didn't feel guilty today for like sleeping in because I'm like, any other time I'm up like by 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and stuff. So today was like, I'm this 10 a.m. I'm still laying in the bed. So I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed that
Okay.
very
Yes,
much.
I started off active and then just slowly dwindled into sleep. So it worked out to my favor. I'm happy. I
Yeah.
got a nap.
Yeah, naps be everything.
Yes, it was awesome.
I
Very
don't know.
nice, very comfy.
I will continue to bring this up, but it just seemed like Sunday it'd be like 7 a.m., then all of a sudden it'd be like 12.
Yes.
I don't
Especially when you
know.
take a nap during that time. Time
Yeah.
speeds up when you take a nap. I'm like,
Yeah,
dang
and
it.
I sure did like take a nap during that time. It's like I woke up early, but then I was just laying in the bed, just like kind of reading and then just
Hmm.
just relaxing, just listening to like the little bit of rain and then the wind. Had the window open, just listening, just taking all that nature in.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Sounds lovely. Peaceful day.
um, oh yeah, it definitely was a peaceful day. Definitely was. Just
Hmm.
got just Sunday, that'd be the day where I do like most of the cooking and stuff. And I really found that is like really working for me throughout the week, because when I be working, I be trying to like get the work done. And, that take a lot out of you trying to work and then still trying to cook during the week and then go back to work. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
cooking on Sundays have really like just helped me out a lot.
I
That
bet.
way Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, get a big bulk of them hours out. So, food's
Hmm.
already prepared, so don't even have to worry about that. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can see why you appreciate it.
oh yeah. It is definitely a lifesaver. It definitely is. Like,
Hmm.
oh man, we are whew, it is the day
Episode.
after the tax deadline. How about that? Huh?
Oh, I thought they moved that. I thought
Did they? I don't
it's
know.
April, like April 18th.
Oh,
I
good.
think.
They need that. People, my deadline's the 15th of March, so
Hmm. Well, you
that,
can keep that deadline in your head so you don't have to feel like you're doing things last minute.
well, no, I'm always a month before anyway, so I don't, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
man,
got a comment
we got a comment already. Before we grab that
already.
comment, before we grab that comment, so today, episode 26, are melanated women being gaslighted? The question.
Mm,
Very,
yeah.
very good question. Episode 26. But before we get into the show topic and grab this comment right here, Zima, where can everyone find you?
Well, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Azima the Only. That's Azima, the Only. And you can find me on Facebook and YouTube as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Joe?
So yeah, you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogoFit. And also, yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel of the Wine Fine Podcast, where you could catch older episodes as well, in case you missed them.
Exactly.
So, before we get into the topic, let's grab this comment real quick.
It's moved to the 18th.
You
Yes,
know
the
what? I do
18th.
remember. I do remember that happening. I don't know why I had a brain fart. It
I think
happens.
I think it's like a pandemic date, and they just kept it that way.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So yeah, man. So let's get into this topic today. Are melanated women being gaslighted? it kind of makes me
Mhm.
think about, the instances where, let's just say, for example, melanated men, right? They've
Mhm.
been given this stigma that, oh, they'll rape you, or they're the ones that commit the most crime, they're the most lazy and everything.
Mhm.
And we know examples where that is just very far from the truth.
Yeah,
We came
basically.
across we came across time and time again many examples where it's like, what are they talking about, or where did they get that from? And then
Mhm.
just how is that a possibility when, for years they've considered like the melanated community as the minority, because they're
Mhm.
only in certain overpopulated in certain states. And then you have the rest of the country where European Americans are considered the majority.
Majority. Yes.
So it's like, how? Can you put that stigma on melanated men, saying that, they ones that commit the most crime, that they're the most deadbeat fathers, this goes on and on and on and on and on.
Mhm.
So I'm actually glad that you found this clip here, that is titled from YouTube, How Black Men Gaslight Black Women. And it's
Yeah.
like, and when I think about it, let's just say, were black women the ones saying that, black men are the most, criminal and
I don't think so.
jailbird and yeah, yada, yada, yeah. So it's
Mm-mm.
like when you come across a lot of these podcasts out here now, we got a lot of them just continually talking about, you know, melanated women are doing this, they're not doing this, they're being incentivized for this. And, just, yeah, I just kind of want to like get an understanding of why all of this is happening and whatnot. So,
Mhm.
what I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and play that clip. It's about
Okay.
2 minutes, but it's a very entertaining, and thought provoking, 2 minutes of, information that is not even
Mhm.
coming from a melanated woman. As a matter of fact, it's coming from someone who identifies as European and, let's just say, Spaniard,
Mhm.
Spanish, whatever. So
Okay.
I will go ahead and play that now, and then let's just go ahead and discuss that, and let's see if we could kind of like understand where is this coming from, where is this going, and where is this going to lead us eventually, and
Okay.
what historic time in history can we think about that ties to this today.
Okay.
So on my Instagram, and I'm looking in the comments, and it's basically about some guy in jail and some girl talking about, oh, her man is coming home from jail, whatever, right? And then all these pages in the comments, which I'm assuming are black men or whoever, are in there bashing black women and saying, oh, only black women do this behavior, only black women want to be baby mamas, only black women glorify having a man in jail, and all sorts of stupid shit. I'm white, and I'm also sick and tired of seeing all this nonsensical, stereotypical backlash that black women get for doing the same things that every other race of women literally does. Like, black men like to gaslight black women and make them think somehow they're inferior to other races because they're doing things differently than other races of women when they actually aren't. Let me make one thing clear. Plenty of white women are baby mamas. Plenty of white and Spanish and Asian women, mainly white women, will definitely be up beside their man in jail. In fact, the biggest pick niches and the biggest ones who are dumb for their man and are the biggest ride or dies are white and Spanish women. And don't take offense because I'm white and Spanish. I'm German and Argentine. Most of the time, black women are actually smarter, less codependent, and more likely to leave a man. They're not as weak in the knees for a man as a lot of white and Spanish women are, who are willing to stay and literally never leave through anything. Which I feel is the main reason
why black men try to bash black women because, other races of women are more willing to tolerate a lot of shit and be quote unquote submissive and a ride or die and never leave and do things that a black woman is too smart and too strong to do. Also, my granddaddy is white and he has about 5 to 6 baby mamas, and my grandma never married my grandpa, and he also never raised the majority of his kids. He was a deadbeat. White people do the same shit. Like, I don't let these black men gaslight you and make you think, oh, well, the white women get married and this. No, these bitches are stupid. They're stupid. White women are just as fucking ratchet and ghetto, and we do all the same shit in white families that y'all do in black families, if not actually worse. Like, I thought when everyone saw the show Shameless, they kind of got an idea of how dysfunctional a lot of white families are, but I guess you guys are really gonna get to know, like, so black women, you're good. Keep doing you. Stop listening to these fucking podcasts and all the bullshit these black women are portraying of, oh, you have an attitude. Every fucking woman on the planet has an attitude, especially if she's from New York. Every woman has an attitude. Sorry.
Ah,
Especially if she's from New York.
I mean, that's how we was raised. I mean, you gotta have you gotta have tough skin up there. It's
I
not
wouldn't
about
say I
having an
have an
attitude.
attitude.
I don't say I have an attitude. It's more so survival mode,
I say it's more like you just can't pull the wool over my eyes kind of thing. You can't. I'm just gonna question everything, and then you're like, "Well, why are you asking so many questions?" And because I want to make sense of this, because right now the math ain't mathing. So I'm just not gonna take your word for it. Which I think it's like a whole New Yorker kind of thing. Period.
Yeah, that's a New
There's
York
there's
thing,
too there's
period.
too many Donald Trumps out there trying to scam you, and that you're just used to coming across that. Therefore, you just don't believe anything anybody says. I
Yeah,
guess.
definitely want to, just tread cautiously no matter what in life, especially the
Yeah,
way how,
yeah,
things
yeah.
going. But I mean,
That's
she has, definitely said a lot in
yeah,
that,
yeah.
you
She
know,
said a lot.
he said a lot. And, man, we don't even know where should we begin? How about we grab this comment here
Comment.
first?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Let's see.
Those men who think that way, they have to think if they had daughters, would they want their daughters to take bull from guys that they're expecting black women to take bull from them?
I don't,
I'm
I
just
think with them, they are in this bubble and they just think that will never happen to my daughter because I'm gonna be there to protect her and whatnot, and you
yeah.
know
I don't think they're thinking about their daughters at all.
they're not, you
That's
know.
what I think. I don't think they're thinking about their daughters. They don't have or not thinking about their daughters. They're thinking about themselves, and that's
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
So let's tackle that whole the baby mama first.
Okay. That was one of the first things she brought up. No,
Yeah, she
actually,
did.
the first thing she brought up was black women. They gaslit black women to thinking they're the only ones that wait for their man in jail.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
was the first
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Like, man, they people clearly have not seen Goodfellas and stuff because the wife was bringing baguettes and shit to the
Baguettes.
jail. She was bringing fucking baguettes in her damn trench coat. Now, so
Baguettes and trench coats.
bringing baguettes in her damn trench coat, and not only that, his side chick was also still coming to see him too. And then the wife got mad, was like, "Have her bring all this stuff in here since you're gonna have her come and up here and whatnot." So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those were two women that they so called considered white,
Mm-hmm.
supported a
Yeah.
man in jail and stuff.
I just think it's a common thing among women. I wouldn't say
Yeah,
it's a black woman thing or a white woman thing. I just think it's, you're committed to this person and you're gonna wait for this person. I've known people who've done it. I mean, it bit them in the ass when they came out. It didn't work out. I mean, uh, I just
Well,
watched a episode of Power yesterday, and
power. Okay.
it wasn't my intention. I was watching it with my husband,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, Mary J. Blige's character
Oh
waited
yeah,
for her
that
husband who was in jail. But then
right.
did she wait for him if she slept with somebody else during that whole time period? Is that still considered waiting?
No, that's not waiting because she was
Okay.
still getting her boots knocked.
Yes. Right. Knocking the boots. Yeah. But that's
Yeah,
my point. Like it's not something I think is unusual at all.
it's not unusual. There's plenty of women that are,
But for someone to say that, that's definitely, I would say, gaslighting. You're basically, you're saying this one group is the only ones who do it, and probably you think that because she waited for you, and now you're talking about how she waited for people, and you're just throwing throwing everybody under the bus because that one person waited for you to come out of jail.
and
You
I
get what
guess
I'm saying?
and I guess the reason why they're saying that is because hey, melanated men are, the majority that is in this prison system. Got,
With that, yeah, that's pretty true.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it's set up. So yeah, they are in the system, and they have women waiting for them. More than one woman waiting for a man. I'm pretty sure that's the case as well. You know.
I mean, it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it
Let's
happens.
uh, let's grab this comment here from Chelsea.
You know what? She's spitting facts because as you do the work to decolonize your mind and to break out of the colonial structure that like they're still upholding and the values that they're upholding, like these narratives were written specifically to hold us down, to keep us down, like, and we perpetuate it. They've done their job so well that we perpetuate their narrative. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that like we all got to break out of it, and it takes a lot of work. And I wouldn't even say I'm free, but every day I learn something new that is like, there's another crack in the shell, and eventually we ain't gonna give a fuck.
I,
Yeah.
I, I'm at a point where I'm thinking that most women don't
Yeah, and just on
give a
what
fuck.
Chelsea said, that was a very good point, saying that
Mm-hmm.
we now are pushing that. Just think about it. Let's just take this whole natural hair thing, and I know I've brought this up before, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel it's appropriate to kind of bring up again. You
Yeah.
know, early 2000 teens and everything, like right after 2009, 2010, around that time, I was, one of in the area I was in, I was one of the few people, women, wearing my hair natural and stuff. And you know who used to call me more nappy headed than anything? People
Nicki
that
Minaj.
had, people who have way more melanin than me would call me, oh, nappy headed and all this stuff. And oh, won't you
Mm-hmm.
get your hair done? And, that's a prime example of those stereotypes and being set. And then here, not we, but those people enforcing them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
making, adding to the fuel to the fire, making things worse,
Yeah.
igniting that self hate and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I said we gotta come, Carol.
I think it's like the watermelon issue, how
Oh,
they say black people like watermelon. So
The
they're
fried chicken.
using all these issues against black women, saying they do this, they do that, to make them feel
Mm-hmm.
ashamed.
yeah. And the funny thing about the whole watermelon stereotype, they did that because the watermelon farmers was making bank selling watermelons. And
Mm-hmm.
so, hey, way to, you know, hurt their profits by making it like, you know, not as, nice, to be
No, well, basically, you're hurting their profit by saying, well, only black people buy this. Well, I'm not going to buy it
yeah,
because I ain't black. We don't eat
yeah.
watermelon in this house, you know? So,
It's sad, very sad.
mm-hmm.
And what else she tapped into? She tapped
And she
into,
tapped the baby mamas. Yes.
yeah, baby mamas, the grandfather. She was like, her grandfather had 5, 6 baby mamas and didn't even marry the grandmother. So,
Mm-hmm.
these are, they put the blame on the people that's not even doing it the most, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know this unless we look at the statistics. Like, just for example, I know before they used to say that, melanated women were the ones that got the most abortions.
Yes. They did say that.
But
But
what is the true statistic of that?
the true statistic is that white women get more abortions than black women. Black
Hello.
women get more abortions than Hispanic women, and Hispanic women get more abortions than Asian women. So,
Hello.
yeah, that's the. And then, it's just I feel like maybe it's being that we're the minority. It looks like being that we're the minority with smaller group. It looks like more is happening because of the size of the group,
Yeah.
but the majority is doing it. The majority is white, then the majority is doing it. Their percentage is much higher. They're doing it to themselves more than any other race, of people. So
And
I
then
just
the
find it
funny,
interesting that, yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, it is interesting. What's even more interesting is that they think that that whole abortion ban was for melanated women. No, they don't. This society doesn't care if melanated women get abortions. They're doing that, to stop the white women, the Caucasian women, the European American women. They're trying to stop them from getting abortions.
Well, I think because okay, so right now white Americans are the higher the ones that are the majority, but there's a group of people who are slowly catching up to them, which is Hispanic, who are growing and getting closer to the majority of white people. And I feel like that's the reason why they there might be a fear that they're losing America, that the numbers of white people are not growing the way they would like compared to the speed of which Hispanic people are growing. Because
Well, I
clearly they
mean,
don't care about the rate of black people, but I think that's the reason why they made it such a big deal about the border control and Mexico and you know
and
the numbers of people growing in America that are not white is catching up.
but then not only that, they, that what they don't, even though this been going on for years, and I can't stress this enough, when the Caucasians, their numbers are dwindling, their death rates are higher, and
Mm-hmm.
they're committing more suicide. Let's not to mention that whole opioid um
Epidemic, yeah, it's
epidemic.
still happening. It's still
It's still
happening.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it don't seem like it's going anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
so let's go
Yeah.
ahead and grab this comment from Chelsea.
Wow, that makes so much sense because it
Mm-hmm.
also makes sense that they don't care about black people enough to protect our rights. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would they care? What's in it for? Like, yeah, they have, you know, they can put, the men in the prison system. Hey, they even been put. There's a lot more women in there too now in the prison system.
Correct.
Um,
Yeah.
The only reason why they would care, to basically have more of us is so that they could have access to organs and whatnot, and then be able to, just funnel us through that medical system where, hey, here's some good stuff to eat, but it has this red dye that's going to cause, certain type of cancer or just issues with your thinking and your gut health, you know,
Mm-hmm.
either way, it's a win for them, if it's successful and the people's not waking up to see what's really going on here.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So what is really going on? What is really going on?
I think that the male, well, the males, the black males that are, or the melanated males that are complaining about melanated women and gaslighting the women are being gaslit themselves. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to say that, I guess when people just feel like that they're at the end of the rope and, lost all hope, they're like, oh, we got to find somebody to blame it on. Like, oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's blame it on the melanated women. And here's another fun fact that, she hasn't particularly brought up in the video, but it's something that definitely needs to be said. You have these out here that complain about, women have wearing wigs, weaves, and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But Hispanic, Caucasian women wear weaves, ponytails, wigs, all that just as much.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
But
especially in the entertainment industry. I mean, if you don't wear
yeah,
it, you lose hair. All they're
yeah,
doing is dyeing and pulling hair all the time. If they did it to your hair, you won't have hair left. You'll be bald, your hair be breaking, you look like trash on TV. So the goal is to protect what you have, what comes out naturally, and the best way to do that is to wear wigs and
that
weaves.
is true. That
And
is
I think
true
that's
because
that's also a common woman problem. It's not like it's just one batch of women that does that. All women do that
it's going
if they
on for
want to protect
years,
what they have on their
centuries.
head. Exactly.
Been
Centuries.
going on for
Yes, for
centuries.
sure.
Corsets, waist trainers, all that stuff going on for a very, 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 very long time.
Hmm.
And
Nothing unusual about it.
I think people just really weaken themselves worrying about stuff that like isn't, that shouldn't be that of
Their
a
problem,
important to them. Yeah.
that isn't their problem.
It really isn't your
But
problem.
I mean,
You
that's
know,
the reason why they go on those shows and start talking their smack in the first place, is because they feel weak. So they
I guess
empower themselves by going there and changing the narrative and saying whatever the hell comes to their head about the females that turned them down, and they don't find interest in them, and so on and so forth.
I guess
When they're
that
probably not the case, they just probably can't get them, can't have
I
them.
guess I guess that's why there be people out there that be joking around with their memes talking about, hey, get some therapy instead of starting a podcast.
Starting what?
Instead of starting a podcast, get some
Instead
therapy.
of that's what I thought about that. I saw that meme. I was like, damn, here I am doing a podcast.
Yeah,
Do I
but
need
we not
help?
out here bashing men and talking about, oh, y'all the scum of the earth and all that. But that's what them dudes on a podcast be doing. They just be blurting the same narrative over and over and over again. And be quite honest with you, I think I'm kind of over that whole submissive and submit talk and shit. Like, I
Hmm.
think I'm kind of done with it.
Well,
Like, if
if a
there's
whole bunch of people have not gotten the therapy needed, then it's
a,
definitely going to be some popular talk.
I,
It's just going
I
to keep
think
on repeating
that
itself.
I feel like that's a good speed dating question too. Like when it comes to like, it's like,
Do you have
oh,
a
so yeah,
podcast?
do you have a podcast? Yeah. Or do you listen to Kevin Samuels? Do you listen to Andrew Tate? Do you watch the Fresh and Fit podcast? To kind of
Hmm.
get an idea of, their personalities and what they think. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. That's funny.
it is
I'm like,
funny.
yeah. Well, you make the joke of it, but you get to that point where you see where the problem's coming from, and you just want to make sure that person is not uh, subscribed to that, to that
Yeah.
kind of talk, those type of people.
And then the funny thing is, when I look at my timeline a lot, I be seeing a lot of complaining men. Like I see the women on my feed, but then I see the men on my feed. Like the freaking men on my feed be a lot of them be just complaining about every fucking thing. Like it just comes
Mhm.
to a point where like, man, do you even like women? Like, are you just
Mm.
dealing with women just because they said that's what you're supposed to do? You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
just find fault in everything. But yeah, because then if a woman finds fault, oh, she's bitter, da 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 da. Da. But it's like the guy, he's out here telling the truth. If he's
Mhm.
drinking all the time.
And that's the story of all time. It's always been like that. The moment a woman opens her mouth, she loses value.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and
No.
grab this comment from Chelsea.
Would Joe Rogan pass the speed date podcast question? Because someone said that to me and I felt uncomfortable, but I couldn't really pinpoint what was wrong with his podcast because I don't really listen to them like that.
Well,
I don't know.
Joe
I
Rogan.
like Joe Rogan, and it's like a mixed bag. It's basically who he brings on the show that
Yeah.
will turn put the show in a direction that you might not like or do like.
And as a
Yeah.
fact, that question was a very good segue into this other video that we wanted to kind of bring to everyone's attention.
Mhm.
Like, basically with these gender wars. And
Okay.
it's a very short video, but it's Joe Rogan interviewing this guy by the name of Douglas Murray. And I just thought it was just so appropriate to put this in here because, Ms. Zima, when me and you was talking one day, when we was talking about, man, what's up with these gender wars and everything? And
Mhm.
this is why I love history and this is why history should definitely be at the top of everyone's list when they want to kind of get a glimpse of what's going to go on in the future and whatnot.
Future
So
forecast.
the
Look at the
future
past.
forecast. So I'm gonna play this clip right here, and then we can go ahead and just discuss it from there because I feel like this is the reason why we are having all these gender wars and all this back and forth with each other. Y'all
Mhm.
ready? Here it
Go
is.
ahead.
Fascinating that the end of empire really concerned with gender and hermaphrodites and those things. Like that's universal.
Well, it certainly happens at the end of the Greek and Roman empires.
Wonder what that is.
I think it must be something to do with those boundaries and all other boundaries starting to erode. I mean, the nature of society is that we have certain fixed ideas that we agree on. I mean, by the way, isn't trans is a brilliant one because the whole non-binary thing is a brilliant one if you wanted to pull apart society because again, get people to pretend that men and women don't exist. Get people to pretend that the one of the things that we've all known from the beginning doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And you can do all of the other stuff too. It's a brilliant one to demoralize people on. Say there's no difference between men and women. The penis is a social construct. Somebody, a Labour MP, said recently on television, she actually had the gall to say on television. She said children are born without sex. Like penises and vaginas are so 20th century. And if you do that stuff, then of course people they just doubt everything. And that's why these things worry some of us, because if everybody is persuaded to doubt what they see with their eyes, then they can be persuaded to fall for absolutely anything.
Ooh.
Mm.
When he said when you can persuade people to doubt what they seen with their eyes, you can program them to do anything.
Mhm.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's heavy. Because
Glitch in the matrix.
with all of these gender wars and stuff going on,
Mhm.
bricks. Is everyone here familiar with bricks?
I don't
Everybody here
think. I hope you are.
familiar? Familiar with how this U.S. dollar is on the verge of collapsing, and yet we are here having a gender war. And what did Joe Rogan say at the beginning of the little clip there? The
You said
fall of
typically.
Yes,
Mhm.
typically the fall of empires. Well, no. Gender wars are like the start of whatever he said, the fall of empires, something
Mhm.
along that line there. And I just found that pretty interesting. I was just like, wow. Imagine that, you know?
Mm-hmm. I would think that is pretty distracting, and you would not notice that,
Right.
certain countries that used to, um, trade with the US dollar are no longer doing that and is devaluing the dollar that we have in the
Yeah.
United States. And you're wondering why we're having inflation and prices are going up, but you're not paying attention to that because you're worrying about somebody's sex, or men do this and women do that, that you wouldn't even notice there's a problem going on until it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. So,
Sounds pretty distracting.
yeah, those that will be listening and are not familiar with BRICS, BRICS
Mm-hmm.
is the nations of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They're
Mm-hmm.
setting themselves up as an alternative to existing international financial and political forums. So they are basically banding together to not even need, the US dollar,
Mm-hmm.
while, this country is preparing to introduce the digital dollar, and not to mention Fed Now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a form of a cash app that will be available in July of 2023.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
with the use of FedNow, they'll be watching every penny you spend and knowing everything you do with your money.
hmm and have the capability to stop any purchases that you may want to make.
Correct.
So let's grab these comments here.
Yeah, that's the thing, they're talking about little petty stuff when there's more serious things going on in the world.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they're getting
So,
paid to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's grab this.
I would not.
so that guy was denying the existence of other genders other than male and female and hermaphrodite? Question mark there. I know my tone didn't say it. I'm confused.
No,
I don't think he was denying it. I think what he's saying is when a country's economy is about to fall, those are the subjects that come up in reference to past empires. And, the US is considered an empire. So, but when shit is about to fall apart, the focus is always on sex or lack thereof, and not on the actual problem at hand, which is similar to what we're going through in the United States. We're going through economic fail, and all people can talk about is sex. The conflict between two sexes, if that makes sense. Yeah.
yep, definitely makes sense. One more comment here.
I say I'm confused because he followed that up with what sounds like a good quote. Like, if you get people to question what's in front of them,
Mm-hmm.
then you can, like, get them to fall for anything. But I feel like if you could get people to see what's in front of them to begin with and question things that are in front of them, then should critical thinking then not be what we would develop instead of mindless assimilation or whatever the goal is?
I don't think they want you to think critically. If you start thinking
No.
critically, then we'll be all asking questions about what's going on. Why is this happening? I think there's more conversations about the other things other than what's happening, with the economy right now. The conversation is not about the economy. The conversation is about the sexes. I went through YouTube on the shorts. There's barely any conversation about what's going on with the economy. Everything is
Mm-mm.
about between the strife between man and woman,
Right.
or
The
what's
select.
happening to the black woman, or what's happening to the black male. It's all
Mm.
about that. It's not about what's really going on right now, or that Japan is considering signing the agreement to join BRICS as well, or the rest of the nations of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And if more and more nations leave the US dollar, we're screwed and we're going to have hyperinflation. None of that is being spoken about.
Yeah, like that's not on the forefront. What's on the forefront is, oh, this Moroccan athlete whose wife decided to divorce him, but he had his fortune put in his mom's name, and they're like, oh, city boy is up. So if she wanted to like divorce him or whatnot, she gets nothing. But on
And
the
she
flip
might be
side,
paying. Exactly.
this woman speaks like four different languages. She speaks Spanish, Italian, Arabic, of course, English. She speaks all these languages and stuff, and then she comes from a family who have had money, so they're making it seem like it's because of his money when in fact it's not because of his money. And they'll just put that on the forefront so we could be back and forth and let that be trending and everything. But this should be trending, the fact that they got robot dogs and stuff, or that they're trying to
Oh yeah,
push
New
this
York is.
whole.
Yeah, New
Yeah,
York has bought some of those robot dogs for.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Let's
I,
grab
I
these
I
two
just
comments.
I just find
Okay.
it interesting. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, let's grab these two comments real quick.
Look, I'm struggling with the mic here because I'm doing my hair, and so I've got like oil and gel on my hands, and I can't like maneuver the phone the way I'm supposed to.
Okay.
All right, one last comment.
Purpose is to keep the melanated people distracted, have the wools kept pulled over our eyes, and misinformed, so we'll be at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Can't I'm just trying to how deep the disadvantage is going to be. This whole July Fed Now thing is got me tripped up. Like I'm just like how much is it going to affect the people in the United States, the people who don't have money.
They if the freaking dollar collapses overnight, you know how many people's gonna be broke? Like go from like money to like vagabond status to like
Yeah,
poor.
they're
Like,
gonna be like carrying toilet tissue in their wallets and not even realize it's not worth anything. I yeah. But if you're distracted, you won't know. You won't know. You're just.
yeah, you
That's
out
why I
here
said
talking
it. I
about.
feel like this whole thing is just one big gaslight, and they don't know they're being gaslight to talk about women and gaslighting the women, and not realizing that the everything's gonna be pulled out from under us, and we're all gonna be just running around without as if we're chicken with our heads cut off.
You
Not
know,
knowing what to do.
they're trying to
Yeah.
push all like this gun reform and everything where it's like, oh, they only want the government or like it's citizens government and like the police, to
Mm-hmm.
have guns or have some type of firearms. And that right there, that's scary all in itself. Like what the heck y'all plan on doing where y'all only want um the government and the police to have firearms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about to get really weird. And I just find it weird now because I like, does anybody see the weirdness? Do they see what's going on?
Not a
Um
lot of people see.
I mean, they saw the egg prices go up. That was concerning. And I figured, that would have led to the idea, okay, well, not only are egg prices going up, milk is going up, um, food, the shelves are becoming more and more empty when you go food shopping.
I
Like,
know.
and then where the people are still doing reckless shopping, they're still spending on things that are meaningless, and they don't realize something weird is happening. Like I do find it weird that the that the the people are still complaining about certain characteristics that is just basically general among women. Just like, we're complaining about something that's just normal among men, whether they're dogs or they're faithful, whatever the case may be. It's just a normal human characteristic. But and I feel like people are more focused on the human. They're focused on things that really are not gonna save them in the end. You know what I mean? Whether I have a vagina and you have a penis, it's not changing the fact that we're all hungry. We have no money, and chaos is about to, happen. You know what I mean? Like, I just,
Sort of like
it freaks me. Yeah, it's like, why are we talking about, things that don't matter?
like people complaining, not complaining, but debating back and forth, like, oh, we shouldn't be eating meat, or we could get our protein from plants and all that stuff. And I know somebody sent me this freaking video today. I put a thumbs down on their video. Like, don't send me no shit like that again. Don't send me no bullshit of anybody on the Breakfast Club talk about protein doesn't exist and all this stuff, and these people don't even look healthy themselves. Talk about you shouldn't be eating meat. We still, in those conversations, we had all types of conversations, but the ones that we should be having is, okay, what is this government doing? Why are they trying to, put these laws in place under our feet? They're like, oh, good. They're not recognizing what we're doing. Is yes, this what's
Mm-hmm.
going on with um, Jamie Foxx is trending. The fact that he had a stroke, or the fact that this celebrity broke up with this celebrity, or they it's always something. And as soon
Mm-hmm.
as when there's like something trending, I'm always saying to myself, like, okay, what the fuck is this government doing now for them to be putting this bullshit out there in the head in the freaking media for us to be focusing on?
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. We are
Yeah.
witnessing a repeat of the fall of the Roman Empire, where they are making us to be against each other and to point out each other's flaws and be like, oh, well, you got an attitude. All right, well, you're a deadbeat dad, or oh, if you don't have kids, then you're gay. Like we just blurting all this unnecessary stuff to each other, creating a more divide. Our heart spaces are being screwed up because of all of this, because we're holding up all this unnecessary anger for nothing, when we need to be banding together
Uniting.
against the powers that be, that are,
Mm-hmm.
have their own agenda in their hands.
Yeah. We just need to be a little bit more prepared than this. Um, and I don't know if you noticed, like, they're talking about the word woke as a negative thing now, and being aware. This being aware um is not good. And it's like, if you're not aware of what's going on, then you're doing better than those who are aware, because you shouldn't be a part of this woke consciousness thing. I don't know if you noticed that like the politicians, that's how they're talking about being woke. They don't want you to
Yeah,
be woke.
well, that's what they do. They put however they feel out there to see how they can manipulate us as a whole. Granted,
Mhm.
it's gonna be sad. There's gonna be some that are gonna be manipulated to say, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to watch everything that's going on in the news all the time. I don't want to see these protests, or I don't want to be woke anymore. I just want to go ahead and eat this crappy food, and just be up on all the talk new shows and the ratchet shows
Mhm.
and whatnot. This is I'd rather take the red pill, huh?
Is the red pill the pill that keeps you asleep in the Matrix?
I forget.
I
I
don't know
forget,
which one
but
is which anymore.
I forget, because but but y'all seen the movie. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Whatever pill
Mhm.
that he took to say, "Hey, I don't wanna be in reality anymore. I wanna just believe this beautiful lie that I'm being fed. I wanna,
Mhm.
eat this steak or whatever."
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. That's all. I just think I think that this narrative that they're pushing is just it's gotten to the point where no one is realizing what is going on in this world anymore. Um, how they're taking over. I mean, like, let's say China is just taking over everything. I think the bricks, the money that the value of bricks is higher than the dollar right now,
Everything's higher
and
than the dollar right now. Almost I would just say almost everything is higher than a dollar right now.
well, right now I think we're like we used to be number one, and now we're number two. And the only thing that's going to drop us is if more nations leave the U.S. dollar,
Oh,
basically.
they leaving. They leaving.
Yeah, and like
You
I
know.
said, some big places already applied. They already applied to join BRICS. So if more people more countries uh get in, they apply and get in, then it's just things are gonna get worse. Our money is not gonna buy a piece of gum.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
think about it. We all know the type of turmoil that Venezuela been through, right?
Yes.
They are on the list to be joining BRICS. They know beforehand, what happened when money collapses. There was,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely heard some interesting stories, like, people prostituting themselves for like a loaf of bread or a pack of hot dogs. That's what it's gonna be. And here
Mm-hmm.
people are going back and forth with each other on bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's
We got a
grab this comment
comment.
from
Yeah.
the lone wolf.
Hey ladies, how y'all doing? I just pulled up, so I'm kind of late, but as far as the reference to the anti-wokeness, I think that anti-woke rhetoric, when you speak to like the political uses of it, is like anti-liberalism, because liberalism is using wokeness as symbolism. So it's the whole woke being aware. It's commoditized. Like it's not a quote unquote a real thing. That's why you got some people talking about like conspiracy that like everything is gotten watered down and diluted. So what it may have meant in like spirituality and awareness and consciousness, that ain't kind of the meaning that's connected to it anymore, which I think is often a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's why I think the Dalai Lama shit is what I'm saying. Sometimes we deify people. People will use, what I'm saying, the right trigger words to get into power, and they be on some fuck shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think both parties are using it against us. And we're just I don't think either of them are saying using it the right way. Like he said in reference to spirituality and understanding of what's happening. And I feel like, the Liberal Party is using it and well, was Joe Biden's liberal, right? So I think the problem right now is that, you know, with the Liberal Party, they're using it on the world right now and being their own kind of bully on it, where, the Middle East can't use oil and we're not going to use oil anymore because we're going towards gas and solar energy, which threatens their way of life. So that's one of the reasons why they are joining BRICS as well. They joined with China, and then you got other countries who are looking for their money, and we are using the U.S. dollar, and you guys aren't even helping us. And we need food, and your money is driving us into debt because we invested in you. So everybody's looking for things from us, and the way our country works off of credit, it's not working for the countries who have actual commodities and things that could be traded. So they're leaving. And I think the way our way of living, the way we treat people, everything about the US culture is just not working for everybody outside of the US. And
Mm-mm.
even the racism. it's just not working anymore. You can't use it against them. You know, in America, there's a majority who are not the majority for the rest of the world.
Mm.
And the rhetoric that we talk, melanated women do this, and and all that stuff is just not working outside the US anymore. They're losing, they're disconnecting from our belief system and the way we work, and it's now backfiring.
Yeah.
And us as Americans are not noticing that. We're still
As a
believing
whole.
it while everybody else is disconnecting from that rhetoric and that way of talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it looks like it's even pointless as well to even go to college nowadays, like in this environment.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're
Yeah.
driving yourself into debt for
Yeah.
something that might not exist in 5 years. You know.
Exactly.
So.
Let's grab this comment from the Lone Wolf.
But I mean, let's take it a step further, right? And I'm not a spiritual person at all, for real, for real. But even before like that word and wokeness and all that stuff became like so commodified, it got popularized in or seen on social media. Some person, usually a woman, it's kind of like the Hotep niggas. You got the crystal women. It's like niggas just be saying she like, what the fuck is you talking about? But they
Mm-hmm.
use the guise of being woke and this and my nigga, you were just selling crack 2 days ago. Like what is it like? What? So I, the point I'm trying to make is I feel like I don't even know where it originally stems from. I don't know if it ever was a real thing, to be honest. Like everybody has their beliefs and that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's entitled to their beliefs, but when it comes to that shit, I don't know if any of it's ever true. And how much of the truth can actually really be identified.
Yeah, because I definitely know my share of conscious Hotep niggas that sold crack to go to Egypt and stuff. So
Go to Egypt.
yeah, go to Egypt. Sold crack twice to go to Egypt. But that's
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that there. There may be another episode down the line, but right. But yeah, man. So all right, so identified. We had the video here, like are black women being gaslighted by black men? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we are against each other for the wrong reasons. We're pointing the fingers at the wrong people. That's the sad thing. I guess we all feeling some anxiety about what's going on in this environment. So it's like, we're fighting with each other.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people are thinking they're not safe. Well, black women, that everyone is against us. We're not safe with our own men. We're not safe with anybody outside of our race. We're just, we're we're um we're being attacked,
From all
but
angles.
from all angles. But I'm just like, I think people need to know that um there's always an agenda, and I think that we're all being attacked.
Yeah.
It's not just the black women, the narratives that are being pushed. It didn't just like pop out in air of fairy dust. It's something that was put in somebody's ear, and those insecurities, all you had to do is throw some fuel on it, and it just turned into a big old bonfire that's spreading. you know so I think there's a lot more to it than just uh women being black women, melanated women being gaslit. It's everyone being
In some way,
gaslit.
shape, or form.
Yeah.
Everyone in
And
some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
mhm.
Sheesh. Let's grab this last comment here. Ooh, the time flies.
Yes, it does.
And I think ultimately a lot of the stuff that stems from we no longer have faith in institutions. So even with the wokeness, spirituality, a lot of the people, younger people, postmodern people, if you ask them about religion, they've rejected institutional religion. They've rejected organized religion in favor
Mm-hmm.
of spirituality, quote unquote, wokeness, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
consciousness, or depending on what you're talking about. We don't believe in government. We don't believe in institutions anymore. And again, without that faith in institutions and religion, like I think
Things start falling apart.
we're just having a battle or a clash or a conflict of what will reign supreme moving forward.
Okay. And that could be that's it. When you don't have something to believe in, when you don't even believe in the dollar you have, you don't believe in the credit you have, you don't believe in this, you don't believe in that, things start falling apart. When you
Yeah.
can just find when you can just focus on the mundane, things start falling apart. And I think that's the reason why they're considering this whole Brexit system the new world order, because
Mm-hmm.
people are finding a new thing to believe in, you know. They're building something that is going to sustain all these new this group of countries, and we're being left out of it because of our lack of belief. um and so it's the value of what we have is going down while everything else, the other countries are going up. So maybe it's just like a shift in the system of belief. And when you give power and belief to something, it grows compared to the one that you don't care for anymore.
Yeah. Say
It's
what you
like
focus on
old
grows.
old gods and new gods. It's just a shift of the new belief system and where it's going. It's feeling it. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
So yeah, we're all being gaslit. We
That's
are on
it.
the verge. We are on the verge of a crumbling empire, going into a new cycle of this world. We have to figure out what side are we gonna be on. Personally, I'm
Hmm.
thinking Mexico, but you know,
They already applied too.
yeah, I know they already applied
Mm,
to for bricks. So,
yep.
oh man,
So I said,
so.
just go where you feel comfortable.
Yeah, so that's something to think about, everyone, before not everyone, not people here, but whoever's, definitely listening into the future, stop for a minute before, you get into the whole wanting to complain about, the opposite sex, or just complain about stuff that you're not gonna do anything about or feel any repercussions for. Now, if we're on here complaining about how the government's not doing their job, then that poses consequences. Oh, and that's another thing that they're probably going to have coming in the forefront too: social
Hmm.
credit scores.
Well, maybe that's the reason why we got these social medias selling their verification.
Fuck yeah,
um
they sent me
because
that. I'm like,
that'd be the social credit score system, which I think they also do in China.
yes, they
So,
do.
you know
Yes, they are
if
doing
you
that.
get
They
yourself verified, you're safe. We have your what do they need for you to be verified? They need your driver's license. That's what it says they need.
Yeah, but they also want you to pay like 14.99 a month too. So adding
Yeah.
another bill to your, as if you didn't already have,
As
your
if
bills
the
and
value
stuff.
of my dollar ain't going lower and lower.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So that could be one of the reasons why it's happening. They're selling it, and they can't get TikTok to do it. So they got Instagram, Facebook, which is the same entity really, doing these things. And you know, you get judged based on what you do on social media.
Man,
Sometimes
it's a
there's
shit storm just waiting
coming.
to happen.
Shitstorm is brewing. It's
Oh yeah.
bubbling over.
Ugh, like a septic tank that got too much toilet paper inside. But man,
Okay.
yeah. So just everyone, if you don't take anything else from here, just take that. We need to stop these gender wars and look at the bigger problem at hand. So
Hmm.
wow. It is 9:04 p.m. We definitely got some good points in here. Definitely got some great feedback. And
Yes. Thank you all.
I'm glad we was able to get those 2 clips in, to kind of, just veer our show in the direction that, we wanted to, the point we wanted to get across.
Mm-hmm.
And we just got one last comment here.
I really appreciated today's conversation.
I'm
This was a
glad.
good talk.
That's awesome. I'm so happy.
Yay.
All right.
So yeah, before we sign off, Azima, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Azima the Only. That's Azima the Only. And you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Jovani?
So yeah, that's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Camp Jogofit. That's KampJogofit. And everyone, please also subscribe to our YouTube channel at the WINEFINE Podcast. We are closing out this episode 26. We'll definitely be here next week for episode 27.
Wow. Look at us.
I know, right?
Okay. It
I
was
hope y'all have
good.
a good night. See y'all next week.
Have a good
Peace.
night. Bye.